Welcome to Entertainment Boulevard At Home Edition. I'm your host, Kalia J, and we're at home with it. On today's At Home Edition episode, we're going to explore a partnership between Lansdowne High School and the Hippodrome Foundation. We'll meet some current and former students, a cast member from Disney's The Lion King, and a few other guests. Then we'll see some theater skills from Lansdowne students. You'll see this and so much more. So let's meet our guests. Today we have Barb Wurzing, the Education Director from the Hippodrome Foundation, Robert Tracy, a Performing Arts teacher from Lansdowne High School. We also have Kiara Parsons, a 10th grader at Lansdowne High School, Imani Jackson, 2017 graduate, a cinema theater major at McDaniel, Isaac Saunders Jr., a 2014 graduate. Credits include the Broadway tour of Motown and currently on contract in Japan with a Sing-based amusement park show. And finally, we have Ben Lipitz, a cast member with over 6,200 performances as Pumbaa on Broadway and national tours of Disney's The Lion King. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you on our show.
Hey, thank you.
Happy to be here.
Happy to see you.
Hi, Barb. How are you today?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Could you tell us a little about this program and why do you provide these experiences with Lansdowne High School students?
Absolutely. Well, first off, the Hippodrome Foundation believes that theater experiences can be life-changing. And I think as we go through the process today, you are going to learn a lot about that and see how some of our programs have enhanced the lives of these students from Lansdowne. Our partnership, I'm happy to say, has been in existence for almost a decade now. And we provide anywhere from master classes. They've participated in a book program. They all are published authors, some of them. They also provide opportunities with just teaching artists that enhance their learning experiences. Career professionals that come in and work with them because we know a lot of them are interested in pursuing careers in the arts. So we enhance those programs at Lansdowne High School, and we are happy to do that.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for telling us about the program. All right, next we're going to hear from Rob Tracy. Hi, Robert. It's great to have you on the show today. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Could you tell us about the enthusiasm from the kids that participate in this partnership between the Hippodrome and Lansdowne High School?
Well, it's more than enthusiasm. I tell my students that my most important job is to provide them with opportunity. And a lot of our students may come from challenging situations where opportunities are few and confidence is fragile. This is where the magic of the Hippodrome transforms them. Each time there's a workshop with the Hippodrome, students see firsthand their own potential realized in these professional performing artists. And it becomes a conservatory type of situation with just the excitement of dealing with someone who is in it every day.
That's pretty exciting. So you feel that this program is super important for the students. Could you tell us why?
Well, I think one of the most important parts of these workshops is the candid conversations that the students have with the teachers and actors. And the students find out a lot about the business of the theater, how to become a working artist. They gain insight into some real life skills about how to listen, how to find their voice, channel that unbridled adolescent energy and into making art. And that's really a really important piece.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Robert. It's great to hear from you. Now we're going to hear from Kiara Parsons. Hello, Kiara. Could you tell us a little about your experience participating in this program?
Yes. So when I was little, I knew that I wanted to pursue a career in music that was involved with music. And then sitting there in the audience, just watching the whole cast of Aladdin having so much fun on the stage, and then all the sets, the costumes, the choreography, it was just so amazing. And then I knew that I wanted to pursue this as my career. And then the workshop allowed me to have a little glimpse of what I needed to do and what I needed to be able to do to get there.
That's so exciting. Do you plan on pursuing the arts in the future?
Yes. Musical theater isn't a goal for me anymore. It's a mission, and it's something that I need to do before I cross over and die.
Yes, ma'am. It's a mission, and I am rooting for you. That is so exciting to hear. All right, up next, we're going to hear from Imani Jackson. Hi, Imani. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I am doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. Would you be able to tell us about your experience thus far in this program?
I will definitely say that working with the Hippodrome and seeing their shows was the highlight of the fall semester for high school. You know, seeing them on stage and being so close and seeing how they work and understanding the background aspects of the show was always, you know, super exciting for us theater kids in there. And also getting to know them and doing workshops with them also made it seem like a goal that was so much more reachable. You know, we're from a small town and you don't really think of, oh, I'm just a small town kid, I can't really go that far. But there's so many of us who are doing shows, are on Broadway, are working with the Met, with the Hippodrome. So it's so empowering and so encouraging to be a part of the program.
Yes, absolutely. And you made a great point. Even as a small town kid, you can go so far in life. So that is awesome. I understand you're majoring in cinema theater at McDaniel. Tell me about that and how do you plan on using it?
It's definitely been interesting having two majors. But doing theater in high school gave me the courage and the self-esteem to, you know, want to reach for goals that I thought were impossible. The past 2 years, I've done a few shows at McDaniel, and just recently, for the last show we did last spring, I was nominated for a Kakakafa Award, which was like the theater Kennedy Center Theater Award. So, you know, it's so thrilling to not only get better at acting, but to understand how the lights work and how gels are, you know, work, and how it is to create the sets that we are using. So being more well-versed in the different aspects of theater and not only just acting.
That's great. Your experiences are helping you so far, and I'm just so excited to see where life is going to take you.
I would like to add to that. Imani, when she was at Lansdowne, was always this kind of comprehensive artist. Just a beautiful soul, but she really knew how to put her insides out there to the world as an artist, as a visual artist, and as a performing artist. And she's been able to, I think, use those skills that she's learned through the arts here at Lansdowne to translate to her real life goals, which I think is really, really impressive. She's such an impressive person, and I'm glad that you're here today with us.
Thank you.
That is so sweet. She sounds like such a beautiful person inside and out. Up next, we're going to hear from Isaac Saunders Jr. Hi, Isaac. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Could you tell us about your experience with this program and how it's helped you in life so far?
My experience with the Hippodrome Foundation with Lansdowne High School actually started with just, we were offered tickets. I think the first performance I remember was we were offered tickets to see West Side Story. And from then on, the relationship and the connection grew over time to the point where we were visited by a member of the gospel choir directed
Soulful Symphony.
Soulful Symphony, yes. Thank
So
you.
to add to that, Isaac was one of the first people to experience this partnership, and it started from the ground up with Darren Atwater and his Soulful Symphony, which is, if you know anything about Baltimore, you know Darren Atwater and what the impact that he's had on the Black community in terms of his music, and the far-reaching national awards that he's received for that stuff. The great part was that our students, like Isaac, got to work side by side with him, singing next to him, singing next to other working professionals, and it culminated with which I think is one of the coolest experiences that our students have had, which is, Isaac, you want to tell them what you guys got to do?
Oh,
Do you
we
remember?
actually had the opportunity to perform one of the songs that they actually did for PBS a while ago on the stage at one of their performances, which was actually pretty incredible because I've actually been to a performance of Soulful Symphony before, and it was a change of view being on the stage and seeing the audience instead of being in the audience and looking at the stage. And in that moment, I had some sort of like light bulb go off into my head that was like, this is going to happen for some time now after this. Like, this experience is basically the door opening and showing me what it's going to be like on stage performing for an audience. And from that moment, I knew that I wanted to be a performer in whatever aspect, whether that was acting and singing and dancing, or if that was just singing, whether that was, operatic studies or classical performance. I knew that being on the stage and performing in whatever aspect was my life goal and my life purpose. So that experience wouldn't have been possible if we didn't continue the relationship we had with the Hippodrome Foundation. Thank you to Miss Barb and all of her team members and everyone else who worked with her and under her, and also Mr. Tracy for continuing that relationship, because it is sometimes disheartening when you have a passionate teacher and a passionate group of people who really want to do something, and then things don't work out the way they do sometimes because you don't have the participants who are as passionate as the people who are creating the program or the people who are organizing the program. So if it weren't for those two, Mr. Tracy and Miss Barb, working hand in hand on making sure that we had this experience, a lot of us wouldn't have had this exposure, wouldn't have had the opportunity to do these things, and it wouldn't have encouraged us or influenced us to do the things we are doing now, which is why I'm in Japan performing every single day, and it's truly wonderful. It really is. So yeah, it was a great experience.
I'm curious to connect, Isaac, just about this. You were on stage singing with the Soulful Symphony, I think it was your junior year when we did that. And then you were back again, but the second time you were on that stage was when you were performing with the cast of Motown.
Yeah.
Do you remember coming onto the stage and thinking about how it was different, or were you just totally in a different mindset?
I think it was a bit of both, because I got the chance to come back and do something completely different from what I did before. So the last time it was just, even though it was just one performance, one song with other people, at this point, it was a different mindset, because now at that point I was a professional, and I was standing on that stage and I was like, wow, this looks really weird, because first of all, the setup was very different. Obviously, we brought in an entire show, and a show compared to a concert performance, the setup is very different. The stage is very different. So we had our own stage put on top of the stage of the Hippodrome. So it was very different experiencing that. But when I stood on that stage, I looked out into the audience and I was like, okay, so it's happening. This is it. And I remembered that moment vividly of standing on the stage and seeing the lights shining in my face when we sung with the Soulful Symphony Choir and the orchestra. And that time, then I immediately went back and I was like, okay, all right, now we're going to do a show. We're going to do a performance, and this is going to be great. I also even signed up with my company to do a takeover, an Instagram takeover, where I showed like the followers of the Instagram page around the theater and around the venue. I couldn't take anyone backstage because that wasn't allowed, but I did what I could, and I showed them the experience and talked a bit about myself. And then we also had the opportunity to go to the there was a brief meet and greet before the show began, and we got to talk to some donors and some other participants of the Hippodrome Foundation. And it's so comforting when you return home to where most of your career began, and just being in my eyes were just bright and my cheeks were red, and I was just very excited. I couldn't stop smiling because I got the opportunity to turn it around and see myself differently than what I did when I was in high school.
Wow, that is great, Isaac. You are such an inspiration for so many other students, and we are so lucky and honored to have you on the show today. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you so much.
Now let's meet Ben Lipitz, a cast member from Disney's The Lion King. Hi, Mr. Lipitz, how are you?
I'm great today. How are you?
I'm good, thanks so much. Tell us a little about what goes on when you work with the students.
Working with the students is, for me, a completion of a circle as a performer. I think it's a responsibility of an artist to impassion and inspire students who are coming up learning their craft. I can remember being a high school student, and the distance between where I may be now in my career and where these students are is only about 50 feet, the distance between being the audience and being on stage. For me, workshops like this were crucial in my development and excitement, and I'm happy to return the kindness.
I'm sure they appreciate you so much. Could you tell us about some challenges that have been presented?
Well, challenges presented since the pandemic is obviously on the platform like this, on Zoom. It's difficult not being in the room with students. Theater training, any type of performance training is a real challenge when you're not in the same space, sharing the connection. I believe that acting happens in that space right between where the eyes meet. It's a different technique when you're on camera than when it is in live performance. And the challenge has been trying to recreate that connection on this platform with the work that I've been doing with the Hippodrome Foundation and with this school. I've been really excited that we've been able to coach and develop and guide these students toward deeper, better performances.
Yes, absolutely. What a great role model you are. Why is working with students and the youth so important to you?
It's a connection between where I started. I never lose sight of where I began in this kind of journey as an artist. I've been very blessed and fortunate working, especially with The Lion King for so long. And I try not to take that for granted. I think it's really part of my journey as an artist and my continual development as an artist, as an actor, to teach and to share, because I learn as much from students as hopefully they do from me.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Lipitz, for taking the time to be with us here today.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this episode of Entertainment Boulevard. We wish you all success in your endeavors, and we hope that the partnership between the Hippodrome Foundation and Lansdowne High School continues to grow. Now let's enjoy a performance from some of our talented Lansdowne High School students.
So I can't see why people look at me and only see the color of my face. And then there's those who try to help, God knows, but always have to put me in my place. I won't ask you to be colorblind, cause if you pick up the fruit, girl, you're sure to find the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I can say it ain't so, but darn, what's the use? The darker the chocolate, the richer the taste, and that's where it's at. Don't run and tell that. Go run and tell that. Now I can see the people disagree each time I tell them what I know is true. And if you come and see the world I'm from, I bet your heart is gonna feel it too. Now I won't lie, but baby, let's be bold. Vanilla could be nicer, the truth be told. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I can't say it ain't so, but dawg, what's the use? The darker the chocolate, the richer the taste. And that's where it's at. Now run and tell that. Go run and tell that. Run and tell that. Go run and tell that. Now I can see the reason it can't be the kind of world we all get our chance. The time is now, we can show them how. Just turn the music up and let's all dance. But all things are equal when it comes to love. Well, that ain't quite true, cause push come to shove. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I can't say it ain't so, but darn, what's the use? The darker the chocolate, the richer the taste. And that's where it's at. Go run and tell that. Go run and tell that. Go run and tell that. Go run and tell, hey, 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 oh, no, no, no.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
So let that lonely feeling wash away. 'Cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand.
And oh, someone will come running, and I know take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found.
Now that we know a little bit about the Lansdowne High School students' experiences and a bit about the partnership with the Hippodrome Foundation, let's learn a little bit more about this spectacular partnership.
The Hippodrome Foundation and Lansdowne High School have forged a partnership that has lasted a decade. And as a part of the mission of the Hippodrome Foundation, which is to share the Franz-Marek performing assets with the community, this partnership is ideal.
Be your most authentic self. Be that and show them what you can do and who you are, because their producers, directors, casting directors they're looking for us to succeed.
Baltimore County is a supporter of the Hippodrome Foundation. We want to make sure that we support students in Baltimore County who need access to these professional artists, and Lansdowne High School is always a willing participant. We're very grateful for their partnership over the years.
For 3 years of my high school career, I got to work with different Broadway actors from shows such as Anastasia, The Lion King, and Aladdin to do a workshop at Lansdowne High School.
On the outside, always looking in, will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass.
Real cast members, the best of Broadway talent, engage aspiring students who are interested in theater arts with various workshops and programs.
It gives them, one, a tremendous amount of experience outside of the classroom. It also gives them a tremendous amount of pride. You know, they can, see how, they do and their level compared to professionals, and then getting that advice and some of that, confidence building experience.
This program is amazing because it gives us the chance to experience what it is on Broadway and to see it with our own eyes, and also to get a little glimpse of what we need to do and what it is to be on Broadway and how much work we need to do to get there.
They provide so many different opportunities for students and for people like me who want to go into a field of working with music and Broadway eventually one day. It's extremely helpful to see people that went through stuff that I've went through as well to be able to come out on top and be so successful in their lives.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found.
Perhaps the coolest things, though, are when we do these triple threat workshops, and that's where we bring 3, 4, 5, 6 cast members from the Broadway touring casts of, let's say, Annie or Cinderella, Phantom.
And then that's where you really develop that one-on-one connection, and those performers get to tell their stories.
Got it? Let's do it one more time. Hela, Hemamela, Hela, he lives in you. It's a rhythm.
And they come in and they work in groups. One teaches a song, one teaches a dance, and one teaches some active theater listening games. And then at the end, we put that all together in an informal performance. And it is just amazing to see the professional actors sharing the stage with these high school students.
Many students with an interest in theater arts participate. However, some students with no or little theater background become curious.
Not gonna lie, when I first came to high school, I didn't really pay attention to it. I was all about sports. My entire focus was on football, and then once I kind of got around to it, I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. I didn't realize it was kind of my calling at first. I've always loved music, always have. Once I got on that stage, it's different. It's where I feel most at home. I feel like I was kind of born to do this.
On that first part, you're waiting until the second phrase to really go. I want you to do, I can't see. Okay? Right?
Straight from the beginning, straight out.
The Hippodrome Foundation also provides opportunities for students to see actual productions.
Because of this program, I could watch other theater productions and I could see different things that normally other people won't be able to see.
You know, I'm hoping that the experience at the Hippodrome is life-changing, like it was for me when I was in high school. And bringing those 2,200 kids into the Hippodrome is probably my favorite day of the year, but hopefully a lasting memory that will live with them forever and keep them coming back to the Hippodrome.
In the face of the COVID pandemic, the Hippodrome Foundation was able to provide a variety of programs to Lansdowne High School, such as virtual experiences and more.
The Hippodrome Foundation pivoted right away. We knew that the students out there were counting on us. So our very first program was with Lansdowne High School. We brought a guitar masterclass straight to those students, and we've continued to serve Baltimore County students throughout the pandemic. Ben Lipitz, who has been Pumbaa for 17 years, will do a Zoom class for Baltimore County students on audition skills or whatever it is the topic of the day. We work closely with teachers to make sure we're hitting their priorities.
We have 6 people performing today. Why don't we begin with Jeremy? Just let us know what you're doing.
In a crowd of thousands from Anastasia.
Okay.
Only 8, but so proud and serene.
But all this means nothing without teacher and student commitment.
Seeing a student go from the very beginning and watching them mature as an artist and as an adult is the best gift that a teacher can get.
Any opportunity that you have that I can provide for you as your friend and as your teacher, I'm here to do that for you.
I love singing, dancing, acting. I love all of it. The art of it itself is just, it's a beautiful thing to me.
Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. That concludes our show. We hope you enjoyed watching Entertainment Boulevard at Home Edition. See you next time.